Welcome to Harmonized. I am your host, Gigi Naval. Well, I've been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. I transitioned from conventional nutrition to functional medicine, which has empowered me to help you so much better to improve your metabolic health by way of improving your gut and hormone health to work in harmony with each other. Hello, friends. This is the second episode ever of Harmonized. And let me just share just a little bit more about me. So for 15 years, from when I was 15 years old to when I was 30 years old, I was a lacto-ovo vegetarian for the most part, and at times perhaps maybe even vegan. So I became a vegetarian at that time when I was 15 because I went on a choir tour, a 7th grade choir tour. We went up to Lodi, and the family that we stayed with, they did not have a fence, but they had a ton of chicken that were just going all around their house, and it was everywhere. And I remember thinking, is that what we eat? So for the next 15 years, I became vegetarian, or I was vegetarian. And then I realized that my body wasn't responding well to that meal pattern. And then I realized after doing 2 nutrigenetic tests that yes, it is so much better for me to have animal products. Okay, but that's for another day, another time, another place. But that's just a little FYI about me. And I see how that in my former life set the foundation for a lot of the issues that I had experienced. Okay, so, all right, but we are now going to talk about the first E in my framework, in my acronym, for living gut and hormone better in order to improve our metabolic health. So in the first episode, I talked about the letter B, which is balance blood sugars. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about eat well. You might be thinking, oh, she is going to talk about what we should eat. Well, actually, no, I am not going to talk about what to eat. I'm going to be talking about an area that a lot of people don't think about when they think about eating well. And that is, how do you eat well? Okay? So what do I mean by that? Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about any food items. I'm going to talk about exactly how we eat. So here's the thing. So many of us do not consciously slow down at our meals. We like to rush through it, and we barely chew our food, and then we swallow, and then we put another morsel of food, and we chew it a couple times and then swallow. And when we do this, we are actually setting the stage for our gut community to be out of balance. So it's amazing how God designed our mouths. He designed it so that is where our teeth are located. He did not put our teeth in our stomach or in our GI tract. He said it will be in the mouth of humans because they will need their teeth to break down their food physically. Okay. God said, I really want people to chew their food so well, and I want them to chew it as many times as they possibly can until it feels like the food has melted in their mouths. So God designed the chewing mechanism for us to be able to produce more saliva. Every time we're chewing, we are producing more saliva. And in the saliva that God designed for us to have, He placed in there digestive enzymes. So the more we chew, the more saliva we're producing, the more enzymes are being produced that are coating the food that we are breaking down in our mouths. And that's such a beautiful thing. Isn't that such a cool thing? Yes, God is actually having us start the digestive process in our mouths. And then while we are chewing our food, we are sending our stomach the signal to produce more stomach acid. What a blessing it is to have stomach acid because it helps in killing off bacteria that comes through the food that we eat, the bacteria that comes through our beverages, and maybe some of the dinnerware, plateware, silverware. If there might be any bacteria on there and it gets into our mouths and maybe from even our cookware, that can get transferred to our food into our mouths and that can come through our system. But a blessing that we have is that when we take the time to just chew our food really well, and then we take the time to enjoy the flavors of our food, the texture, the aroma, all those details of what we are eating, then yes, we are producing the stomach acid as well as producing the saliva and the digestive enzymes. Could you imagine more saliva, more digestive enzymes, and more stomach acid will help us in preventing overgrowth of bacteria in our gut community? So I hope this will encourage you to be mindful and not to rush through any of your food and to really take the time to do what God wants us to do at meals. And so think about smoothies. If that's all you're having at breakfast, you're not taking the time to chew it, to produce enough saliva, and you're not giving your stomach enough time to get the signal that they need to produce more stomach acid, then that's not a good thing. We can produce or not produce. Because we're not producing enough stomach acid, then we are not killing off the undesirable bacteria that is coming into our bodies through eating and drinking. So think about that, okay? So if you do want to have a smoothie, have something that you could eat along with it that you could actually chew. Otherwise, then, yes, you will increase the opportunity to not kill off bacteria that is coming into your body. So how you eat makes a big difference in our health. Otherwise, we are setting ourselves up for having an imbalanced gut community, which will then lead to overgrowths of bacteria, and then that will lead to inflammation in our gut, and then that can potentially leak out into the rest of our body, and we don't want that. So don't forget, friends, in whatever we do, in whatever we drink or eat, do all for the glory of God. If you have any questions, please ask down below in the comment section. If you would like to sign up for my newsletter, I have a link in the description down below or in the show notes where you can sign up for it.